Yeah.
taking from your experience and also from Yellow Rose itself, like, and I think when you talk about representation, especially in Western culture, like you pioneered a lot of things, like you paved the way for a lot of not just Filipinos but Asian performers. I feel, what does representation mean for you, and has it changed through the years?
I'd like to think that it has. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like representation is taking place at a glacial pace, but I'm glad it's happening at all. I mean, I'm happy, for example, when a film like Crazy Rich Asians was
Oh
released,
yeah, yeah.
because you saw Asian faces represented. I mean, obviously that is not going to be the experience of every single
Of course.
Asian person. I mean, obviously, and to think that it is, you're living in a dream world. Um, not every Asian goes through that or experiences that. You know, not everybody's going to be able to buy a hotel just like that. You know, I wish that that was the case, but that's not. And the story of Yellow Rose is probably more representative of what actually happens. Um, yeah, whether the immigration experience was legal or not. Um, but as far as representation goes, I think when something becomes commercially viable and when cha-ching actually happens,
Right.
then that paves the way for more stories. Because at
Of
the end of
course.
the day, it's show business.
Right.
Underline the word business, which means if it makes money, then we will want more of it and there
Right.
will be more of it created.
More
And
eyes can see it.
yeah, and then it'll become more accessible and more desired. It's like if like all of a sudden, it's no secret I'm a big fan of BTS, and then all of a sudden they're right, and I
Thank you for
discovered them
bringing that
during the
up.
pandemic.
Because I
But
was
I
like,
mean,
how do I bring BTS up with Leia
I'll bring
without
it up for you, Bea. I
seeming
got it. I
negative?
gotcha. I gotcha. My purple heart is here for you. Um, and so they are also in their own way, representing another segment of the Asian population,
Mhm.
and then hopefully that gains curiosity from Western viewers to ask more questions and find out more and see what else is there. And so, in an earlier media meeting that we had today, Cecilia Mejia, one of our producers, mentioned that Korean culture is going through a huge wave. It's crazy, just with the success of Parasite, various K dramas, and K-pop. Um, there's so much content. So she hopes, and I hope, and many of us hope, many of us who are creatives in this industry are hoping that we have that kind of wave for our industry and for our
Right.
people and for our stories as well. Because as far as the talent, there isn't a shortage of it,
Of course.
um, but there needs to be support.
Right.
And, the industry in Korea has so much government support behind it, which is, I gotta no, and it's public, and there are news articles on this,
Right.
and we can all do our research, and we'll end up in the same place. That there was so much government support, there was government money going into the effort to spread culture all over the world, and BTS is a part of it, and then you find out about these other bands. There's NCT, there's Twice, there's who else?
And
Monster
then it's a
X,
bottomless
and
pit
then
of
it's like Park Seo-joon, Park Bo-gum, and Park Hyung-sik, and then it's like you learn that, and then you become interested in Hyun Bin, and then he's dating his co-star from Crash Landing on You.
yes.
There are pieces like Kingdom. I saw like the first 2 episodes, and then I got scared, so I couldn't watch the rest of it because I can't watch horror movies, and so zombies might just frighten the heck out of me. But the point being is that there is so much support. There's a
Yes.
big support system for this kind of content to come out. And so here it is, and it's gorgeous and it's amazing. And so many of us now know more about Korean culture thanks to this wave. I think it's called Hallyu.
Yes.
Um,
Hallyu.
Hallyu. People want to learn more about the language, the cuisine, the tourist industry. I mean, BTS by themselves brings billions of dollars into Korea. So then we have to ask the question, what is it going to take for us to have a wave like that?
Right.
You know, is it just government support? Is it just private sector support? What is it going to take in order for a wave like that to happen for us? Because as evidenced by so many Filipino artists that just in the cast of Miss Saigon and various productions all over the world, talent is here. So what do we need to get that more out there? I'm going to leave that as a question. I'm not, because I don't have the answers. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to enjoy a wave like that. But I think it will take support from the government. Doesn't have to be huge, but there should be some, and there should be support for artists. Yeah, and I do understand why we're not the priority. I get it, but it breaks my heart that we're not. Yeah, so I'll leave that open-ended, and hopefully somebody will figure out a solution. I don't have the brains for that. I am not the person to go to for that. I know what I'm good at, and I'll stick to my lane. But I would love to see a wave like that happen for us.
Our policymakers have so much things to do. But speaking of Asian talent, Filipino talent, what was it like working with the cast and the team behind Yellow Rose?
It was wonderful. It was great working with Eva. I mean, we've never actually really worked together on anything. But yeah, this was. I mean, we have met. We have a relationship off the stage. But this was actually like the first time we did something together. So a lot of theater fans and fans of Miss Saigon in particular are going to look upon this with hopefully great love, because it's two Kims on screen, and I don't know how many times more that's going to happen. But yeah, Diane brought the two of us together to work on this project. So it's something that we are very passionate about with the story that we are trying to tell with Yellow Rose. It was wonderful working with Diane. It was wonderful working with the team that she assembled. It was a short shooting schedule for everybody, but because of just how prepared everyone was, how ready everyone was as far as, learning the script, not just learning our lines, but figuring out how to navigate the film with the characters that we had to portray. We were placed in an atmosphere where it felt like an atmosphere of collaboration rather than dictatorship. Because there are some directors who will be like, you do it exactly as I want it, rather than, okay, how can this be more effectively done? Because I was picked to play this role because of what I bring to the table. And it's nice to be able to have an active voice in the discussions, in developing her character, and in how the lines come out of her mouth, and being able to improvise. I mean, some of the stuff we were doing on screen are not written out. It's basically, here's our framework, do this, now go. So there was that. And so it felt comfortable, as abbreviated as the shooting schedule was for all of us.